welcome again today. We are still on the topic cooperative business. Last time we discussed part 1, where we handled how business plan makes a difference in achieving successful cooperative business. Today we are discussing how government targets support for cooperative business to deliver its own services. You are already aware that government has a duty to support employment creation, and government also provides different services. And the truth is that sometimes the government uses cooperative societies to achieve some of its mandate. And this is why we say that cooperatives participate in achievement of SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals. So cooperatives played a lot of role in the past in the growth of this country. And particularly in the area of export of agricultural produce. And government collaborated with cooperative societies to achieve this. You will recall that cooperative societies were involved in export of cocoa, export of palm produce, export of even rubber, export of groundnut. So they were supported by government. There was collaboration. Now, government also established farm settlements in the 60s, if you recall. And these farm settlements existed in different parts of the country. You know, we had some in the west, in the east, even in the north. They were all over the place. But what was important about the establishment of the farm settlements is that operated cooperative models, you know, and they were quite very successful. So what we are saying is that cooperative activity in Nigeria and even beyond is not a new thing at all. Perhaps what we are concerned about today is not just about whether government should be interested, but to what extent are we going to escalate the participation of a government in cooperative business support? I think that is what we should be concerned about. And we need to understand that cooperative societies engage in quite a lot of areas. They are into agriculture, of course, as we have discussed, and they are into manufacturing, they are into industry, and they are into services. Of course, cooperatives are also into housing, as you recall. And so our interest should be about how actually to encourage cooperative societies to get closer to different ministries of the government. All the ministries in these, all the ministries of the government have one activity or the other that is relevant for cooperatives to engage in. There are products and services that they produce that cooperatives can actually participate and collaborate with them. I think this is what we need to be looking at, and encouraging cooperative societies to get closer to the ministries. This is, of course, the business that their leaders, management committee and others, and should be addressing. Let me actually get more specific, you know, to some of the ministries that cooperative societies can visit and explore opportunities that they have to do business, you know, with government. For instance, in the aspect of transport, Cooperatives should look out for transport alternatives that exist in both rural and urban areas where they can participate. Yes, we know a lot of, it's not necessarily about government transportation system anymore. Everybody is talking about private sector activities, and cooperatives can participate. Health ministries, if they can visit, and there are a lot of things happening. Collaboration. In the rural areas, there is need for health clinics, rural health clinics that cooperatives can participate in. And we have cooperatives that are into insurance. The National Cooperative Insurance Society of Nigeria. I don't see the reason why they should not become more active in the area of health insurance. This is the way to go. And then in the aspect of environment, cooperative can actually participate in waste management activities. You see, most of the time we see babambolas moving around and collecting waste materials, and some people say some of these babambolas are thieves and all that, there are security risk and all that. But let me tell you, babambolas can be organized into cooperative societies and they become very effective in supporting waste management services in the country, in rural areas, and even in urban centers. In the aspect of culture and tourism, cooperatives can get involved, depending on their interest areas in arts and then music. And they escalate it, to regional, state, regional, and national levels and engagement. In the aspect of industry and trade, of course, cooperatives are already into different areas like cottage industries and all that. This is something they actually need to deepen. And cooperatives are already involved in solid mineral ministry activities. And some of them already being provided licenses, to participate in mining. If you get to the north, you will see a lot of them engaging in that. But many more are needed because we have a lot of mineral deposits in this country. Of course, everybody knows that cooperatives are also involved in housing. And they need to visit the Ministry of Works, Housing and Power to explore opportunities, a lot of opportunities that exist in that area. So a lot of things are really happening that requires collaboration, and we as leaders in cooperatives need to encourage the cooperative societies to really move out and see how they can partner with government in different ways, to support their businesses. We know that cooperative members are already involved in private businesses of members who have obtained different loans from their societies. But when it comes to the aspect of engagement at a wider level, for the cooperatives, they really need to become more organized and move out to engage the government. Let me particularly thank the President of Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, High Chief Tajuddin Ayola, for a lot of advocacy that he is doing around high-level government areas, to present the case of cooperative societies in Nigeria. I'm aware that he has done quite a lot of a lot of things in the aspect of housing and then the area of reform of the cooperative law. I think that is where to go. And I hope that in the days ahead, particularly after all these elections, when everything settled down, I'm very optimistic that the cooperative societies will have greater opportunity to interface with the different ministries in different areas of cooperative business activities. Thank you.